Everyone probably knows Charlie Kirk was recently assassinated at a political rally in Utah on a college campus. And I think we need to be aware of how his death can be weaponized by entities that are both political and non-political. Particularly, I think we need to be concerned with how this can be used to further Project 2025's agenda. This piece is called Charlie Kirk's Death and the Prospect of Civil Conflict. This piece can be found on my Substack. Consider subscribing. I'm building a reader base to think about ideas that affect society on a mass level. I would love if you would join. With that, let's go ahead and get into it. Charlie Kirk's death and the prospect of civil conflict. Charlie Kirk, advocate for Donald Trump and co-founder of Turning Point USA, a nonprofit organization known for promoting conservative ideology at educational institutions in the U.S., was killed on Tuesday, September 10th, at Utah Valley University while speaking on his organization's The American Comeback Tour. While his death is unfortunate, and while political violence serves ultimately to further silo us into our chosen tribes, we must understand the ways in which this event is likely to be used by the state to strengthen its chokehold on us all. Since the election of Donald Trump to the office of the presidency, we have seen masked men with weapons under the full backing of the United States government go into homes and places of business to forcefully drag out human beings in the name of protecting American domestic interests. In many cases, those who are being snatched from their communities are people with families who have been contributing greatly to the American economy. And isn't this what advocates for American economic growth say they want? This administration has also unleashed the U.S. National Guard in a purported effort to quell crimes and beautify American city streets, when research has not only shown that crime rates are hovering at historic lows in this nation, but that crimes in this country are not motivated by hatred for others, but by lack of economic opportunity. A note on crime. It is important to realize that the term crime is typically used to refer to illegal actions committed by politically and financially powerless members of a domestic population within a given territory. There generally is no discussion of eradicating the type of criminal activity performed by those operating on behalf of the state. For example, foreign war crimes, civil rights violations, assassinations of people the state finds troublesome, legislation of corrosive domestic policies, etc. If society viewed these behaviors as crime, perhaps it would send civilian delegations to occupy congressional chambers throughout this country to moderate the deliberative processes that create the life-altering decisions that affect us all. End of note. In addition to the above-mentioned actions, this administration has also starved, bred, killed, and diseased millions across the world by abruptly cutting aid to dependent countries being serviced by USAID. It has rolled back federal protections for the safeguarding of people who are employed by abortion centers and compelled the U.S. Attorney General to pursue federal jurisdiction in state cases dealing with capital offenses so that it may seek the death penalty even when no capital punishment sentence has been issued by a lower court. It has dismantled the Department of Education, de facto criminalized individual self-defense against aggressive police officers who assault citizens, and authorized hundreds more pages worth of egregious violations on human rights using the highly manipulable words found in the U.S. Constitution. If you want to find out more about what this administration is doing, you should read Project 2025. It is a 900 plus page document. It has over 200 contributing authors, and it is a very well written document. Whether you agree with the ideas or not, you should know what this administration is trying to do with regards to this country. What we need to comprehend right now is that Charlie Kirk's death will be used as a partisan dog whistle, a rallying cry for those who are currently seeking to dominate the American populace on both the left and the right. This is about power, control, and political collusion. Consider who Kirk's death benefits: security and tech companies, media outlets, legal teams, arms dealers, in short, agents who collude with one another and the state. WhiteHouse.gov has declared that the flag of the United States will fly at half-staff in honor of Kirk's death, about which speculations continue to mount. Social media channels on the left and the right are further fragmenting, as apparently, and as of this writing, the person responsible has yet to be located. The irony of this is not lost on me, considering this event occurred in a nation which spends billions of dollars annually on the development of surveillance technologies. As pertains to the shooting, some believe a rogue leftist fired the fatal shots. Others believe the shooting was a sacrificial hit authorized by the far right to turn Kirk into a martyr with the goal of galvanizing more support for upcoming elections and furthering Project 2025's agenda. Most frighteningly, however, many are now urgently calling for civil conflict. So I write now to urge neither peace nor war, neither blame nor judgment. I write now because more than ever, the people of this country and of the world need to wake up and realize that we are being pitted against one another in a high-stakes game of thrones, death, and destruction. Shame on us for not realizing the beating hearts within our chests, the blood that runs through our veins, and the air we all breathe are all the same. Shame on us for not seeing that our tax dollars are being used to fund our own oppression, to build up weapons of mass destruction and surveillance, and to support the extinction of our human brothers and sisters across the planet. The world is waiting, America, and it is watching. What will we do? We won't end our subservience to this increasingly tyrannical government through voting. Our leaders are already selected for us. We won't do so by writing letters of dissent to our senators because they have long since been purchased. They do not serve us, but themselves and their own. Our street protests may make our overlords sweat a bit, but they do little else. For while we protest, they plan and plot and strategize our continued misery. As we bellow from our bellies, chanting and screaming for liberty, they watch us from their windows in the sky and laugh. We appear to them as little more than disgruntled circus troops. We were told as boys and girls that these civic actions, voting and protesting, made up our political war chest, that they were the primary tools granted by the Constitution for us to use in dissent against power. And now, after using them for 250 years, are we not more divided, weaker, broken, mistrusting, and afraid of each other than ever before? Come, who will admit what is plain to see? That this democratic experiment works, but for a few. Again, I ask, what will we do? How long will we wait? We are not enemies, but our brothers and sisters, many of us poor and downtrodden, some of us wealthy, but nonetheless heartbroken and conflicted at what was done to acquire our wealth and disgusted by what we feel we must do to keep it. My message to you on this, another fateful September 11th, be wary, but not weary. Be watchful, not fearful. Come together to change the situation, not violently, but honestly, righteously. It is not your right to do so, but your moral imperative. Thank you for listening. As I said before, you can find this piece on my Substack. Now is the time for us to realize what is going on in our society. I don't have the answers. No one person does have all the answers. Together, we can find a way to work through the issues that we have without depending on a government, without depending on social structures that are being eroded. We need to find opportunities to communicate with each other, to talk with each other, and find common ground, because the alternative is something akin to 1861 in this country. And I don't think anyone wants to see that right now, no matter what your beliefs are. Peace.